Welcome, disc golf fans, to JBTV. We're watching the Kitsap Classic. This is a tournament in A tier in Washington State, held at the Horseshoe Lake Disc Golf Course in Port Orchard, Washington. I'm Dion Arlyn. Joining me today, Kyle Crabtree.
What's up, guys?
Hey, so we're excited to bring you this coverage of the A tier. This is one of the premier events in the state of Washington. Held on Horseshoe Lake Golf Course, and here are our player intros.
360 Disc Golf. First on the tee, representing Discraft, Kyle Crabtree.
There's your round one leader, Kyle Crabtree, sitting at 18 under par. We're playing a 27-hole layout, a combination of 2 of the 18-hole courses on the property. We play 9 holes selected from the Canyon course, and then 18 from the lakeside to finish it off. Kyle, what are you throwing here?
I'm going with a mid-range here. It's a Big Z Comet. Normally, this is a sidearm hole for most players, but I decided to go with a mid-range play at this time.
So you get it up, looks like it's tracking left to right. You got to worry about that hill, I imagine.
And that can happen.
Up next on the tee, representing
I didn't even see
Dynamic
that it
Discs,
rolled.
Dustin Keegan.
And kept rolling.
There it goes.
So-
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's your leader, folks.
The disc traveled 500 feet, 300 forward, and 200 backwards.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
Dustin Keegan, one of the best Northwest disc golfers out of the state of Oregon. He's on tour, coming back for the A tier, and this event is kind of on the front side of the West Coast swing, so a great opportunity for the locals to dip into the A tier action.
Yeah, Dustin definitely
Up
showed us
next
the
on
sidearm
tee,
out there.
representing
putting it right under
Discraft, Dion Arlyn.
And then here's some tall, gangly old guy who thinks he can still play, giving it his best.
Yeah.
You gotta,
Well, you're on the lead card for a reason, so.
Oh, you gotta appreciate the effort. I mean, he doesn't know his time has passed, but. So in this particular shot, moving left to right with the sidearm, throwing the Z Predator.
Again, the nice sidearm
Representing
play. And
Innova
the way that this
Champion
green
Discs,
is slanted,
Jesse
you want that
Bickley.
high sidearm to either land at the basket or to the right. And I think that's kind of why I went with mid-range as opposed to sidearm.
Yep, and here we have Jesse Bickley, our fourth, out of Vancouver, Washington. Great young player, has all the skills, and he's sitting at 14 under. So him and I are tied, 1 behind Dustin, and Dustin is 3 behind you, going into the 27 hole.
Have a great round, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are approaching on hole 1. Backhand, what is your backhand approach disc?
That one is a Luna. And I didn't get that one close either.
Left it a little short, yeah.
Yeah.
Stabled out on you, it looks
Yep.
like. Jesse, before this event, was a little frustrated with this putting. It's something that he wanted to work on, but he's still a pretty deadly outside putter. Steps through and just leaves it a little bit low. He'll have to settle for a par on the first hole.
Nice.
Yep, great save there, keeping yourself in contention. Hopefully not losing too many strokes to Dustin and I if we're able to convert our birdies.
Way too much work there on the first hole.
So well within the circle, I putt with the Pro D ringer, just trying to find some chains.
How did that fall out?
Yeah,
Was
find a few, and then it just pushed off, I think, with a little bit of
Was
the
that
wind.
Through or to the side?
To the side,
the
yeah.
side, okay.
Left side. It definitely was not a centered putt, but it's one of those coin flips if it catches on the rim or not. And beautiful park job from Dustin. He can pick up at this point, the solo birdie on hole 1. Probably one of the easier holes on the front 9.
You wouldn't think you'd see that from the lead card.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a hole you need to get.
Hole 2, a bit more treacherous, par 3. We're going to shoot out of a low ceiling, and then you can see that the basket is going to be on a precarious little elevated pitch there. So get close, don't roll away. That's your challenge on hole 2. Pretty smooth looking backhand from Dustin. Looks like he catches a bit of the tree though.
That's really the only danger aside from the slope that the basket is on, is that if you're behind that tree or in it, it's tough to get out from there. You really have no look if you go in there.
Yeah, and then you're so close to the basket but have to move so far around the branches if you're right behind it that it's a very touchy shot.
I believe that is my mid-range wasp. And I believe that's in the middle where I said you don't want to go.
Oh boy. Let's see. So I'm throwing a Z Extreme here, kind of a safety play. Primarily, I'm hoping to hit the window. Guaranteed the disc is going to move right to left. It's one of the most overstable discs you can find.
Yeah.
And then I'm just hoping for not a roll away, which I get paid off on. Great. .335 feet. The distance really isn't the challenge here, but with that small hill off the tee, doesn't give you the depth perception that you want to have. Kind of a blind shot, even though you can see the pin itself. There's just no ground to measure that distance on.
Yeah, you definitely got to throw hard to get through the initial gap and then try to get something to land soft. So you really need to try to throw 2 different shots in one.
Yep.
And as you can see, on the belly, left-handed shot.
Laying down left-handed now. We saw a disc pop up and out. That was Dustin's approach, and then unfortunately caught an edge and rolled down to this area. There's a path and a fence. Let's see what Dustin makes of this save attempt here. Holy cow, drains it. Ooh, let's get a little rewind action. Watch that in slow-mo. Amazing pickup from Dustin.
That's a huge save.
Yeah, he's got high hopes. He's gunning for you. You just laid up for 3, so that is to stay. Ooh, what's that? I saw a double for the scoring, and he moves down. What we did not know at the time, but ultimately settled during the round, was Dustin unfortunately just misplayed. His disc, we believe, rolled all the way to the fence. Believe that he moved his lie forward, thinking that the path was where you needed to play from. So unfortunately, and this is something that we settled, I believe, after the fact, retroactively had to kind of adjust for. Dustin was penalized for that. So kind of an unfortunate play. You know, with the way the slope works, there's not a lot of clarity, and not all eyes were on this shot.
Yeah.
We would have definitely caught it if everyone was watching and paying attention, but because we're on other sides of the hill, we weren't able to do that. So kind of a bummer situation there. Also kind of a bummer is me trying to putt.
And that rolled.
Yeah, it rolled all the way down. So this is where Dustin, we believe, was. And this is me kind of wondering, hey, Dustin, what'd you do from down here? How the heck did you make this putt? And that's kind of where we were starting to get our clues as to maybe, moved up towards the path there. But no fault of Dustin's, just kind of unclear, rules on the hole. Just an unfortunate situation. Bingo. Nice save with authority.
Solid 3.
So you're 2 for 2. Start off the round par.
Yeah. Yeah, hole 2 is not really a must get. It's definitely more gettable, and you should get it. But with the tee shot gap and the tricky green being on the slope there, I wouldn't say it's a must get, but
yeah,
definitely one that you don't want to let slip away.
Hole 4 is the first of our par 4s on this 9. What I like about this course, and Kyle, I want to hear your thoughts on this, but the par 4s are all pretty gettable. They let you choose how aggressive you want to be off the tee, and then you just have to make a clean approach. So this one has danger short and right, and so Dustin is fading away from the danger and into the center of the fairway, and now it's just a matter of what angle do you want to approach the green.
From there, it's a sidearm, backhand, whatever your best shot is from there. So, tee shot, you want to just get it out there, preferably in the middle, and then whatever your best shot is from there.
At 655, distance really isn't the issue. I will say, and I'll comment on this maybe once or twice, on this side of the course, they don't have established tee pads. We're playing off of the ground or dirt. For par fours, that's just a pet peeve of mine because as a power player, I like to actually be able to commit to the throw. That's my advantage. And with a little bit of the weird tee pads or ground tee pads, that can play a factor. So that's the only downside or pet peeve I would have on this side. But otherwise, I love this course, love this property. And I think the par fours are well shaped and well designed. Nice, Jesse with a solid rip. No chance of going OB. That's got great distance.
Yeah, all good shots there. And like I said, you can throw kind of your preferred tee shot. Like Jesse looked like he threw a really overstable disc there, as to where mine is not as stable, and I tried to play the straighter shot. So,
did you throw a crank or a surge there?
I think
If you
that was the
recall.
crank.
Crank, I think so too.
Yeah.
I threw the force, just trying to play away from the danger. And not by coincidence, what you're going to see here from our lead group is that most of us feel comfortable at least throwing that forehand approach. You'll see that on a number of the par fours out here. And I think that flexibility of backhand and forehand just makes us all pretty deadly on the par
Definitely
fours.
see a lot of players throwing sidearms more frequently, myself included.
Yeah, you're not traditionally a forehand player, but you rip a lot of forehands, if I recall, from this weekend.
It's there.
What was the disc you were throwing for that
That
one?
was a Nuco S, and not really for the distance, more for the stability of that disc.
Right. And challenge on this particular approach is just getting under the ceiling and over the out-of-bounds green, which is, I think, why we like that forehand. You can
Right.
kind of slot it in there a little bit better. And, man, that's going to be 4 for 4. The longest putt being me at 19 feet. Everybody else really super parked and just making short work of this hole. There's our star frame.
Sweet.
Hole 4, par 4, 750 feet. You can see danger on the left-hand side, and as we see the hole here, there's a whole row of trees on the right side. So this one is where placement becomes quite a bit more valuable. If you drift too far left, you chance going out of bounds. If you yank right, you're really taking away your approach to the green, which is going to be up on an elevated plateau. At 750 feet, it takes 2 great shots to be in position.
Yeah, this is a hole for me where the tee shot matters. Definitely trying to throw a hyzer flip drive. Something looking like that.
Yeah, that's perfect. Got up to flat.
Depending how far you get and how aggressive you want to be, it's either a mid-range or a fairway driver from there. And like you said, if you do get out of a position on the right or left, you got to come up with some magic from there. So I think, yeah, I'm going with the crank again here. Hyzer flip up distance driver.
A little low, a little right, but if it skirts around the hill, which it seems it does, it should be okay. Jesse is in the minority as the Innova player on this card, which is kind of fun to see. Not something you would expect in a Northwest tournament. But he is a big fan of the Destroyer, so I know he's throwing Destroyers for all of those par 4 drives.
A lot of Destroyers in his bag.
Similarly, I'm a big fan of the Force, so I'm throwing the Force on all of these. Fortunately, I've left that one a little high, so now I need to count on it getting down, which it does not. Whoa, just skirts onto the path.
I think you might be the only one of the people having that problem of going OB too far.
All right, working a beautiful left to right approach. About a little long, but maybe a little outside circle 1. You'll have a choice to make on if you want to run that or not. This is a green that can produce a lot of rollaways. It's exposed. There's quite a bit of wind, so it is a little bit tougher putting green. And I'm trying to spike a little Z Predator on there. I get myself in position. Jesse's going to elect for the forehand as well. Either a destroyer or a Firebird at this range. Hard to say. And then Dustin is our dynamic disc sponsored player. I'm admittedly not familiar with their bag, and Dustin, I'm not sure what he throws out of their lineup, but he's a player who has a great backhand and forehand setup, so probably something with relative stability. Yeah, doesn't look like it turned at all. Oh, baby. Almost puts it in for the eagle.
That would have been sweet.
And this is one of the harder par fours, so that would have been an extra cherry on top.
Yeah, definitely tricky with that basket placement. And I believe that was me wanting no part of that.
All right. For all you amateur players out there, I'm going to bring you into my mental game, which is how on earth could I be so bad at putting, which is exactly the thoughts you want to have when you're trying to hunt down an A tier.
There's always the layup option there. You know, see what I did there? So we were about the same distance, so
I might have been better off doing that.
Hey, we got the same score.
Well, so I went out of bounds, so that's
where that's right.
That's where that was for my save.
That is frustrating.
You know, and I can recall. So this is back in May. Oh man, the coolest cat around. Look at that tap out.
That looks like a meme coming up from there.
Yeah, exactly. I can recall this was beginning of May or middle of May, and it was pretty hot out there. I was dealing with a lot of moisture on the hands from sweat and heat. And I remember using kind of a bag of dirt that I'd found on the course as my go-to, and I just was struggling with that. My putters felt goopy in my hands, and I had a hard time adjusting. Fifth hole on this layout, and another par 4, and this is oh, that's how happy I am.
I believe this is baskets longer than we've played in previous tournaments.
That's correct. There's a few pin positions. You're going to see us shoot out of a gap, cross a golf fairway, have to cross a golf green, which would be out of bounds for the rules that we're playing, and then we are trying to get into the tree line.
Yeah, when Dustin threw this, I didn't even cross my mind to throw a roller. I was like, what is he doing? But
so that's the out of bounds.
That's where you
He's
want to
carrying
go.
the OB and then down into the tree line, and that is where the basket is, and that is an incredible shot.
That's amazing. Yeah, I played this layout course many times. Never thought to throw a roller.
Yeah, I'll be looking at that the next time we get out there. This is the traditional play. Jesse just ripping on a destroyer, gets about 450, and then now he'll have to chip over the green and find the putting green down there.
I believe I'm going fairway driver here because my max distance would put me right on that green. So
you have to choose.
Kind of knowing that, I'm clubbing down.
I'm in a similar boat. I'm going to go max distance, but I'm going to throw the forehand knowing it's not going to get to the green. And I do recall us having a tailwind, and I do recall me smashing the heck out of this forehand.
Right down the middle.
Yep.
And a roll. Holy.
Yeah, that was the angry forehand after the missed putt on the previous hole. What do you approach with, Kyle?
This one particular is a Challenger OS. Normally it's a slow putter or the Comet if it's a straight mid-range. So.
You can see that this green, the basket is kind of off the edge and then just barely into the tree line, and there's really one primary tree you got to choose right or left of. From where we are above the basket, we're kind of staring into the thick of the limbs, so we have to really choose left or right of the limbs and then sneak it just over the edge. And after a Z Extreme, I think I was able to accomplish just that.
I like where Jesse ended up. That looks like there's no danger in the way.
And able to
and
see
you
the
can
pin.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, what an
So this
advantage.
is where Dustin got, and I couldn't believe he got here. So I think next year I'm playing a practice round with Dustin.
Exactly. And for Eagle, oh, man.
Easy 3.
Good bid. He gets the birdie, and he's going to have back-to-back pickup birdies after almost eagles. Ooh, Kyle, that's
Missed
not
another one.
That's not normal, Kyle. What happened there?
I don't know if it was a tricky stance or or I just plain missed.
And I'm finally in my range and able to connect.
Practicing my layups, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dustin taking two holes, and I know that he's charging here.
And a birdie now. Let's see. That was not a star frame because you weren't able to connect there, but that was not a bad grouping. 7th hole here on the layout, 360 feet. You're going to see it's going to be extremely downhill. One of the more fun and beautiful holes to throw. Danger on the right-hand side as the path will mark the out of bounds.
Yeah, it's a really fun shot to throw here. Super elevated up there. Tough OB on the right, OBA on the left, and then the basket is kind of on a hill where it could drop off.
Right, so we've got that green as a potential out of bounds if you go too long, path on the right. And with that pin position, like you're saying, you know, I've had shots hit next to the pin, stand up and roll and go out of bounds, so it is precarious. Oh gosh, that's gotta get down. And off the path.
I think I've seen the most common play is that flex forehand, kind of thrown into the ground and have it flex out towards the basket.
Exactly what I'm attempting here at the extreme, trying to keep it down so what happened to Jesse doesn't happen to me, and just a little short. Is that a forehand or a thumber?
It was both. So that is my Z-Flex machete,
Oh
which
my goodness.
pretty much you got to throw a tomahawk to get it to go straight, and it just let's just say I can trust that one. So
All right, fans, if you're watching this round and you're thinking to yourself, gosh, I need a disc that's so incredibly overstable that I can't even do anything with it, Z-Flex Machete.
yeah, I got them. If you want them, you can have them. No one buys them, but they're so fun to throw, just 'cause.
And here we are. We've all kind of got that medium range putt where we have to decide, go for it or not go for it.
That was glad I hit something there. It's a scary go for if you don't hit anything because it's taken off.
Yeah, the rollaway is there, the drop off is there, the green is there. It's all a lot of danger. So a lot of conservative play on this hole. Jesse bogeys after not being able to
so
save from the path.
Anybody? Did you put this right under it?
I did not. I was short.
So no one got it.
No one from our group. Yeah, not a challenging hole. Certainly one of those either birdie or bogey holes if you're really attacking it. You know, we all kind of elected to just go safe. All right, moving on to the par 4, 675-foot hole. This is probably, without having U-Disc stats available, the hardest par 4 on the front nine. Going to have to choose one of 3 potential gaps out of the gate. You can play this wide hyzer for position.
I've seen people go that way. Very safe. I just can't convince myself to lay up and chop that much distance off it.
I have traditionally gone up the gut and have been bitten too many times, so I decided to play safe, but I do not pull it wide enough and almost scarily find myself back to the path that you need to be on the right side of to stay safe.
So, yeah, there's that middle gap. If you don't get through that, you're reteeing. So that's why this gap is a little more scary than the wide hyzer.
Great risk reward, though. If you're able to penetrate like you are, now you're really cooking down the fairway.
Definitely makes the upshot easier into a very tight protected green. So
I really like the shape of this par 4. It kind of moves right to left on the second shot and then slopes away, so you have to have speed control and distance control to keep it on the green. Jesse plays wide and is actually able to kind of carry that forward quite a bit, and that's a pretty good tee shot.
maybe I'll talk them into making that a mandatory left, so you guys all have to go up the middle with me next year.
I think as a as a designer, I think that's what I would want. I don't think the wide play is really the intent there, because you can see we were all teeing off the back of the tee pad.
Right.
Ooh, and I'm fortunate to stay safe there. Stay safe. So these are all blind approaches. We have a little bit of trouble on the right. And then we're trying to crest the hill and sneak down onto the green, but not come up short left, which would be out of bounds. Very clean looking backhand, but maybe diving too soon. It's got to get lucky. Did not, just found the path. So here you are with the reward of going up the gut. That looks like maybe a wasp.
Yeah, that's a wasp. And for me, I like the approach to be easier and shorter. That's why I choose to go up the middle.
That makes a lot of sense.
Usually when you're that far back, you gotta bring a driver into this green, and that takes a lot of variables into play. OB skipping out long, or it's coming in too high and you hit trees and drop too early. So
Exactly. You can see a great connection there from Dustin, and that I believe saved his par with the out of bounds stroke. Kyle, you switched to Discraft this past year, so you're probably about 5 months into throwing Discraft at the time of this event. How was that transition for you?
it was really easy. They make great discs, and gave me a lot of incentive to go out and practice on my own. So I was very happy to go practice on a Sunday afternoon with no tournaments, and even to play tournaments. So
It's kind of fun sometimes to be able to mix it up, get a whole
Yeah.
bag of fresh plastic.
definitely.
And then, you traditionally were an Innova player.
Right.
So then you are kind of exposed to this whole new world of plastic, and just kind of makes the discovery and the love of it a little bit more
Right.
exciting.
Yeah, my bag hadn't changed in like 5 or 6 years. Just throwing all the same discs, and definitely a couple of people asked me, have you ever thrown disc wrap before? It's like, no.
Yeah.
So everything
Nope.
was new, but it was fun getting to learn everything. And there's still discs I haven't learned. So
Yeah, there's a huge lineup there, and then obviously, my game is pretty simple. It's predicated on overstable plastic. You're more of an understable guy, so
Right.
you've got a whole bevy of plastic to choose from. All right, hole 8, par 4. Danger on this hole is short left. The longer you go, the wider the fairway becomes, and then the green is kind of tucked away up into the left. Oh, 360 roller. Who's this guy? That's got to stand up. And it does.
that's close to the basket almost.
You can see the group ahead of us still putting out.
Wow.
That's my play. In my mind, farther forward is safer. So I'm just trying to crush it. I was able to play the angle. Here's a little replay. Play the angle. I wanted to get the right to left towards the green, and knowing that this being my Surge SS, my go-to roller disc, is going to flip up late. So
Yeah, that's huge.
almost got everything out of that I could.
Again, with the rollers, I've never really practiced them out here. So you're going to see my play. You're going to throw one short and straight. Probably 200 feet behind yours.
I recognize that blue disc. Is that the Z Surge?
That's the Surge, yeah.
We have, Kyle and I have the exact same blue Z Surge with the white stamp, and perfect speed 10, speed 11 disc that very controllable. He throws backhand with it, I throw forehand with it. Jesse elects for the roller as well. That looks like it's got a, oh yeah, that's going to be great.
That'll work. Shot. Yeah, this is one of those holes where the farther you get down there, the easier your upshot's going to be. So kind of how I played the last one, you guys are all playing it on this one.
Exactly, choosing to be more aggressive there. The upshot, admittedly, on this hole is much easier than the previous hole, so that's kind of why you don't really have an incentive to crush it. It's just an easy up and down if you're in the middle. Dustin goes roller as well.
I don't know what disc that is, but he smashes that one. Every time he throws a roller, it's out there.
He's got such crisp arm speed, such good form.
Very quick hand.
Backhand approach is up and a little bit shy. Yep, got to crest that hill to really have a guaranteed putt.
Looks like I hit a tricky spot where another foot to the left, I'd get that skip.
Yep.
Or if I hit where I did, you don't. So
Exactly. Dustin a little farther forward. Can see the green, able to put it right under the pin.
yeah, definitely with your guys' rollers, should be easy tap in threes here.
Jesse elects for the forehand. He's a forehand Rhino player. He's one of the better touch forehand Rhino players that I know of. Him and probably Alex Russell are great at that shot. So I chose to run it. Kind of a weak attempt, and I hit the overhang, but that's not really going to penalize me as I was so close off of that tee shot. That would have been pretty rad to get an eagle on this one.
I thought I had that one.
Great attempt. Able to pick up another birdie there. That's an improvement over the start of my round. This 9, of the 3, we played 3 different 9s for this 27-hole layout. This is the hardest 9.
I believe so, yeah.
Has the most par 4s, has the most distance, and has quite a bit of OB that actively plays a role in the design of the hole. And then, again, not to make a point for the second time today, we're also playing off of the dirt tee pads, which just brings an additional element of, you know, I prefer to have the pristine conditions of the tee pad to crush my shots, and
Right.
without that, it's a little bit more challenging. Final hole on this 9 is 800 feet, our longest par 4 on this section, and OB along the left-hand side. Shout out to Lucky Mud. And you have a pretty narrow gap that you got to hit here in terms of height. Height controls paramount. So I smooth the Z force out there, right in the middle. I'm pretty happy with that shot. Jesse able to get the maximum amount of height out of the gap. That's going to carry. That's very far. And moving left down the fairway, he'll have a great approach.
How close that is to the OB over there. A lot of these holes are designed for that hyzer flip, land in the middle kind of shot, unless the wind picks up.
You know, it's definitely not it's not uninteresting. Like, I think I really like the aesthetics of this course, and the shots are all fairly similar, so maybe a bit repetitive, but it's very fulfilling when you throw the right shot. You get to see it fly.
Definitely.
You get to see it finish, so I do appreciate that about this course.
So I kind of like about this 9, you can open it up, let the disc fly, and then the next 9 coming up is where you want to get some 2s.
Yeah,
Definitely a lot of 2 opportunities coming up.
exactly.
I think that's when the real battle starts.
Exactly. Is that crank?
That's the crank again.
Nice. Oh, got away from you a little bit.
Did.
So
Yeah, and if you're out of position on this one, you're not getting a 3.
That's right. The second shot is a full drive from almost anywhere you would be in the
So
fairway.
I think from there, I'm just trying to butt off as much as I can, make an easy up shot.
Yeah, on the right-hand side, even though you may be farther away, you have the opportunity to see the basket because, as you can tell from Dustin's shot, the pin is down to the left. You can see the flag of the golf green, which is out of bounds. You can't see the flag of the disc golf pin, and that is out of bounds from Dustin as he comes up a little short left. I smashed that one. TI force high. For me, in my mind, I'm just trying to go as far forward as possible, knowing it's going to finish left.
Yeah, I think that also this one is you can really attack it at the pin or past it, because if you go on the golf green, you're still, within 40, pretty close. If you go be left by the basket, you're still able to save par pretty close. So this is one green you can really attack.
I agree.
Past the pin.
It rewards the aggressive throw.
Definitely.
The green is receptive. It's kind of in a little bit of a bowl. Dustin's play where he was short left out of bounds, that's really the mistake. You have to commit to the shot to be rewarded.
Yeah, I've heard other people say it, not necessarily on this course, but in disc golf in general, you want to make the right mistake if you make one.
And on this hole, it's definitely overshooting. That would be the better way to go. But then again, he's Dustin Keegan, and he can put
He
him
just
in from anywhere.
Would not miss.
Wow, beautiful putt, dead center.
Yeah.
He has such a smooth delivery on the putt.
Definitely.
Perfect weight transfer, perfect spin.
Huge putt from right there going out of bounds to save that one.
Exactly. See a little bit of wind, left to right. Just got to keep a strong putt. Yeah, able to actually connect to
That's a
some
good
chains.
three.
So I think I just went birdie, 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 which after my slow start with 2 bogeys, I'm very happy with.
What's he got here? Maybe 20, 25?
Yeah, right around that. A little bit of wind coming at him.
No problem.
No problem at all. A little downhill. Sometimes that's tough to putt down with the wind coming at you. So if you put the nose too low, it just shuts down. If you lift the nose at all, you just go right over the basket. Good cleanup there.
Yeah. Not a tough putt, but definitely have to make it knowing Dustin's already made his bar from twice as far.
So where we're at now, Jesse 1 behind, Dustin 2 behind, 1 behind is myself, Kyle in the lead at 20 down. Please share, follow, subscribe, and smile. John Brown TV, and the coverage brought to you by Gateway Disc Sports. We'll catch you on the second 9.
Thanks for watching.